Well, going live. Okay. I am your soul brother, Taalik of Reality Temple Ministries, aka Operation Exodus, Mississippi, and ad assistant to our brother, Taalik Ibn'rad, aka Angel Snup Snup 7. Okay, this is a very interesting topic on this live hangout. I wasn't going to really do another video tonight, but I just felt compelled within my heart, personally and generally, to go on and do another video anyway, by calling these black religious pimps out who are destroying our black communities across the United States of America. And I mean, it's sad. I mean, all the money that these black pimps is making off our community in the name of religion, whether it be Christianity, Hebrewism, Islam, or whatever other religious persuasion they claim to come in, they are destroying our community. And that's just a fact. I mean, look at all the money they making. It's definitely economically ain't bringing our communities up because we're steadily giving it to them. And I'm talking about poor members of congregations who could barely afford to pay rent or a light bill or buy a pair of shoes or put a plate on the food for themselves or families, you know? And I mean, they just, that money that goes, supposed to go toward that, goes straight to them pimps' pockets in bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? You know, and like I said before, you know, I mean, I just got to call this out like it is. I mean, you know, I got to put these Negroes on blast, you know. And matter of fact, while I'm at it, before I go any further, I'm going to call out their names. T.D. Jakes, Cruflu Dollar Bill, Dollar, Geno Jennings, the late Eddie Bishop Long, Bishop Tolbert, Reverend X, Diedrich Hatton, Bishop Ron Gibbons, Zachary Timms, Pastor Kearney Thomas Jr., Bishop Wayne T. Jackson, Bishop Clarence Tilf to me McClendon, Fred K.C. Price, Jesse Jackson, Leroy Thompson, Louis Farrakhan, L. Sharpton, and you know, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna pull out one from my so-called trick bag from way back in the early 20th century. Father Daddy Grace Divine, and another old school one that most of you, especially old school head ones, might remember. Reverend Ike, Bishop Marvin L. Winans, Pastor Charles Jenkins, and then Pastor JMMI. Okay, and many more as the list go on. I mean, you know, they pimping our communities. I mean, these guys getting millions on up to the point of hundreds of millions. You know, it said that T.D. Jakes' wealth net income is worth $150 million, and all the other stuff materially that come along with what he got, that got him living lavishly off the lost souls and misery and suffering of our dark-skinned or fellow dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. I mean, you know, these pastors is making money off of black people at one of the most sadistic high rates ever. I mean, you know, you got all these churches, all these mosques, temples, in the black community. And when you walk outside them, what you see? Nothing but poverty around them. Strife, violence, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, gang violence, violence in general, prostitution. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on. I mean, man. But these is regarded as some even regard these people as the richest religious icons on the planet Earth. I mean, for real? Only off the backs of their own people, who are preferably called dark descendants of slaves born in America? I mean, these people here is actually rich off the backs of our people. For real? And our people ain't holding them accountable to this? I mean, I just recently heard that Louis Farrakhan, who has his own organization version of the Nation of Islam established, which his headquarters is in Chicago also. Has told his other ministers under his direct leadership across the country that his version of the Nation of Islam said that he is leader of is not a social welfare. In other words, his followers who need help, even financially, can't go to the local ministers or the mosques that's affiliated with his organization to ask for help financially or tangibly. Now, mind you, me knowing basically about the history of the nation when it was first set up, especially under its most well-known founder, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. During the times of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they tried to help, black people who was down and out, destitute, distraught, as well as even those who were homeless, who was, laying on park benches, strung out on drugs or alcohol, stuff like that. Took them in the temple, cleaned them up, and helped made them out of something. Louis Farrakhan's organization don't even do that today. The Nation of Islam of today, and particularly under his organization, don't do that today. So obviously, it's like some of these other pro-black organizations, whether they came in the name of Christianity or Islam, as far as how they first got started, maybe they got started on a more sincere note, but then as time went on, the whole agenda behind these organizations started just being about nothing but money. And this is what we see, And at the end of the day, because, even before I emancipated myself from the pro-black conscious community, when I used to call myself a student of Nuwabian leader Dr. Malachi Z. York, who's currently incarcerated in the Supermax Federal Penitentiary in Florence, Colorado, with a 135-year sentence hanging over his head. I questioned these organizations, including York's organization, which I was claiming myself at one time or another to be a part of. And I questioned these pro-black organizations, and then as time went on, I seen that they wasn't different from none of these other, black religious charlatans or charlatans that come in our community and financially suck the blood up out of our people until they can't no more, So that indicated to me clearly that they wasn't no different from these Christian preachers. Just like in the case of this black Hebrew Israelite leader, the late Yahweh ben Yahweh, who I was familiar with, back in the late 80s and 90s. He had a big temple down in Miami, Florida. Limousines with his name written across it. Chains of hotels around the Miami area and other parts of the country, including the Caribbean, and had his followers carrying out his illegal biddings, such as killing people, chopping people up, and all that craziness. And people who no longer want to, follow the protocols of that organization even got hurt, and which partly led to Yahweh ben Yahweh's downfall. But mind you, my understanding, Yahweh ben Yahweh had $200-some million still as his part of his network income, after he got out of prison. So he still died a rich man, Of course, as a result, because the feds didn't get all the money that he made, in the name of so-called black consciousness and being the so-called black messiah, and stuff like that. So, like I said before, at the end of the day, I mean, these people is pimping our communities. And that's one reason why some of them that I got listed on this piece of paper, I had to just go on and call their names out, I mean, because I'm tired. I'm tired of sitting back watching our people we already getting brutally slaughtered by the system, whether it be the government system, the legal system of this racist nation, the judicial system, the penal system of this nation. But here it is, these Negroes, like the ones I just named off here, ain't making the situation no better. They supposed to be the financial institution of the black community, where the black community shouldn't have to go nowhere else far as seeking welfare, social services, because of the type of money that these people is making off our communities. For just standing behind a podium, teaching nothing but lies and a bunch of bull crap, teaching mythological lies and all this other stuff that ain't got our people nowhere, and over 400 years of bondage in this country. But yet, these people is making a killing, and no one is holding them accountable for this. I mean, no one is holding them accountable for this. I mean, I've seen black preachers or pastors, who have been busted, literally, for running scams, trying to get over on other black pastors, and end up doing time in prison, funneling millions of dollars worth of dope you know, by hiding it behind their dirty religion as well and end up doing time. Okay, that's good that justice has been given to the victims in some of those cases. But on a massive scale, we need to hold these niggas accountable. And it's just that simple. We need to hold them accountable for this. Like this pastor GMMI guy, where I was listening on a video. I started this live hangout where this Caucasian, sound like a Caucasian woman who was interviewing him and questioning him on where the expenses of the donation proceeds that go to his church or so-called ministry was going. Far as thousands of dollars being spent on stuff like Gucci clothes, mansions, multiple mansions, not just one, but multiple, plural, multiple mansions, and all this other stuff, elegant, lavish stuff that the money that was going to his ministry went to, apparently. And I mean, I could tell how he was nervously answering the questions because he knew he was guilty, like most of them are. And I mean, it's just crazy, but here it is when I think about it, why you got these religious charlatans like Jesse Jackson and L. Sharpton around, who make their money by, as I would concur with the Caucasian, by race baiting, by the way. Because I don't care if they black. If they wrong, they wrong. Simple as that. White, black, pale, pink, blue, black, whatever, yellow. If you're wrong, you're wrong. It's just that simple. And karma will eventually visit you in that case. And so like I said before, at the end of the day, these niggas is getting over on our community. It's just like, I'm gonna critique something that our brother Angel Snup 7 from this platform was talking about recently. With L. Sharpton, when they first came out with that situation back in the 80s about that black female, Tawana Brawley, being raped and brutalized by some white cops. I believe it was in New Jersey. And I remember when this took place, when this controversy scandal took place, and how L. Sharpton orchestrated it all from behind the scenes. He helped orchestrate it to the max, to the point that got him to where he's at now, far as in the fame spotlight, And of course, we all know that he was a former federal informant against the mob. And, he's been involved in some other crazy things, which got him his name. And I mean, this guy, it turned out that he made that whole story up, that whole Tawana Brawley story up. They come to find out that he lied. Tawana Brawley lied. It was all a scheme, a setup to bring him into prominence as a so-called black leader of the so-called African American community, as well as from behind the pastoral platform or reverend platform that he still comes from. And to this very day, there's no church that's been identified that he pastors in or over. Nor is it any church anywhere, not even in Chicago, that's identified that Jesse Jackson is the pastor of. So, again, where is the accountability at for all this? I mean, where is the accountability at for all this crap going on? I mean, we got to really get down, deep down into the nitty gritty of this. Because, I mean, these niggas is pimping. Just like you got this Negro in the so-called black conscious community named Tariq Nasheed. Nigga came out with a book talking about lessons on macking. I know I apologize for some of my language, but I mean, hey, I usually don't use obscenity language or whatever in the videos, but I'm just keeping it real. It's crazy. And I mean, you got 2 million people, and I'm talking about not only in the thousands, but the millions that's buying off into this crazy stuff. Like you got this guy, Louis Farrakhan, got over a million black men to go to Washington. Just so he could get paid off these million of black men who each donated $1. And it's still not certain thoroughly where all that money went. And those Christians who was even involved in helping him to orchestrate that 1995 Million Man March also got paid along the way. So, but yet our communities, our dark-skinned communities throughout America that's populated with dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America is still impoverished, downtrodden. Dilapidated housing, dilapidated abandoned buildings. But then you find still a church on almost every corner, a mosque on almost every corner. But when you walk out of them places, you see all that. Like I mentioned at the beginning in the video, And I mean, it's crazy. I mean, man, we got to hold these people accountable. Because they are a part of the problem. They're not a part of the solution, especially as some of them claim. Their works, their actions prove that they're not a part of the solution to our downtrodden situation as a dark-skinned people who are dark-skinned descendants of slaves in America, born in America, And like I said before, these niggas got to be called to account for this. These Negroes got to be called to account for this. This cannot keep going on. I mean, really. I mean, just like I'm going to critique what a brother said, Brother Taalik said recently. They say that we are poor as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. But if we put all our finances and material wealth together on a common collective basis, we will be considered as the 10th largest, richest nation in the world if we ever came together and united to carve out a truly independent existence for ourselves in this nation and beyond. We will be considered then at that point as the 10th richest nation in the world. And thanks to people like these Negroes who I just named off, because they steadily is helping to rob our communities of that possibility. And like I said before, we're not holding them accountable for this. And it's sad. I hear some people, who had audacity to give rebuttals when people like myself speak out on issues like this. The first thing they say, like I saw one in the comment section, just I started this live hangout, mentioned that, where we need to be saying some stuff like we need to be investigating these white pastors who do the same thing. Wait a minute, hold on. First of all, I'm not talking about no Caucasians, okay? Number one, the hell with what they doing. I'm talking about our own people. See, we so much worried about what the Caucasian doing than us worrying about what we doing with to ourselves and to each other. Okay? I'm so sick and tired of that. And then we want to throw a monkey wrench like that to avoid the truth of the matter, like the issue I'm speaking on at this moment. We need to hold these people accountable. These people, some of them who I just named off, a couple of them that's passed on or made that transition, as they say, to the next life or wherever they may be, now that they are no longer among the living. But I say this here. They sure left a trail mess behind. And all the poor souls that they robbed financially while they were still among the living. And yet did nobody hold them accountable. Well, in that case, with them being dead and gone, that don't do no good as far as getting justice. But those that I named off, along with them that are still among the living, we still got a chance to get justice behind what they are doing by robbing our communities. Not only holding them merely accountable, but morally holding them accountable. In terms of, making them give back that money that they took from our dark-skinned communities. Like the black Muslims call it paying the poor rate. We're giving back to our poor people who need it the most. Who can't pay their rent, who can't pay their health care, who could barely even afford to buy a decent pair of pants, a shirt to go on their back. Stuff like that. Who can't even afford that. You know what I'm saying? But these niggas walking around with $3,000 alligator skin, snake skin shoes on their feet. $3,000-$4,000 link cutlet suits. Like Farrakhan and the rest of his boys that's up in the high echelon of his organization called the Nation of Islam, And I mean, it's just crazy. We need to hold these people accountable. It's just that simple. Like, a couple of years ago, back in my hometown of Detroit, Michigan, they got this wester there named Reverend Marvin Wannins. And Bishop Marvin L. Wannings, you know, who I just named off. And some young teenage brothers robbed him at a local gas station. Matter of fact, in a old neighborhood that was once my stomping grounds as a younger man, you know. And they caught him, you know, because they did it. I apologize, folks. You know, technical difficulties. Some with this technology, it always happens that way for some reason with today's technology. I apologize, it is what it is. But anyway, back to what I was saying, you know, I mean, hey, it's just crazy. You know, I mean, this guy got robbed, and you know what? Part of me was like, you know, yeah, it was wrong. Wrong is wrong, especially because of the fact that a crime was committed. But, you know, at the end of the day, I have to say, you know, as he's done on to others, like it say in their Bible that they teach from, it was done on to him. You know? I mean, hey, you stealing from the community. So you don't think that these, especially these young jokers now out there who's desperate and ain't got nothing anyway and would kill you in a nickel drop of a dime? You know what I'm saying? Even if you ain't got nothing, they'll still kill you. And you out here robbing and taking from them same people in that community in the name of religion? This is why churches is getting robbed now. And next, they gonna start working on the mosques. So those of you, especially in the Nation of Islam, you better get your FOI squad on deck for real. Hey, because brothers, I hate to break down the knowledge to you like that, but the poor within the communities where y'all mosques and temples stand at is coming for y'all. And because y'all claim that y'all belief system teach do not carry weapons, hey, I don't know what to say about that, but good luck on how y'all handle that situation in that manner. Because when them young fools come, they come in with weapons, and they come in with high-powered, dangerous, lethal weapons to get whatever they can from y'all. I mean, we in them kind of times, and it's gonna get worse like that. Especially with the way the economic situation going on in this nation. And it's already hard for us. The most is dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. By us being at the bottom of everybody else, as far as every other group of people in this country, especially the Caucasians, you know, hey, it's gonna get worse. This is not no game. And then here it is, we ain't trying to unite to carve out no better future or situation for ourselves as a people, like we trying to do through the proposal of this Mississippi campaign from this platform, you know, and we still want to play around and lollygag and not take things serious, even as we've been warning y'all from this platform, that is finna get worse as the day go by. I say to y'all, religious leaders and the religious community in general, of our dark-skinned communities, or as you want to call Black or African American communities, well, I say to y'all leaders, preferably, who are the leaders of the people of soul, and those of the people among the people of soul in the religious community, y'all need to start kicking out that money. Y'all need to start kicking that money out. Y'all need to start throwing that money back in. As it's given to you, y'all need to set up a way to be given back soon as it's given to you. Like you say, it's well to give, well is to receive, according to y'all own religious teachings as well. So like I say, if y'all really believe that, y'all need to start living by that, or get ready to live by the sword. Because people tired of y'all using them. People tired of y'all. People are waking up. I just spoke to a relative of mine, who's coming out of that Christianity, slave teaching. Although I'm not going, go any further than that out of respect for him, but he is seeming in one way to wake up. And a lot of our people like that is waking up to this bull crap that y'all, teaching and putting out there every Friday and Sunday from behind a church, a temple, a mosque, rostrum. Our people ain't going for this no more. It's a lot of our people leaving the so-called black church. It's a lot of our people leaving the so-called black mosques and temples because they see it ain't real. It ain't doing nothing about our situation as a community or as a people as a whole across. I apologize for this technical difficulties. I guess one of them black pastors or Muslim ministers that's getting mighty rich off our people probably tried to get my video flagged down or something. I don't know. But I mean, I guess this truth must be getting too deep for him right now. But hey, it is what it is, Sorry, but to those of you out there in social media land, YouTube, Facebook, in the comment section, hey, I apologize once again for the technical difficulties, but hey, it is what it is, It is what it is, and like I say, when truth start getting deep, the way it is on this live hangout platform, I mean, hey, sometimes things get a little twisted and tangled up, But hey, it is what it is, I got to tell it like it is. Somebody got to, I mean, the hell with us being constantly left in the blind. I mean, like the blind leading the blind. That's why so much light is coming at the end of the tunnel now. People, like I said, among us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America is waking up to this crap. Because they tired. They tired. And we need to wake up. We need to hold these Negroes accountable. And we need to make them, like I say, get that money back. That they've been robbing our communities for so long. Because they sure ain't doing nothing with it, but using it to benefit themselves and their families and whoever else that's closely connected with them. Like Farrakhan's family, like T.G. Jakes and his family, like Creflo Dollar and his family. They ain't got nothing to want for. But let the poor in the cities where they dwell, like Chicago and Atlanta, go knocking at their door and see how fast they get ran off by their security team or the police being called on them and all crazy type of stuff like that, After you didn't just suck them out of all that money, Creflo Dollar got his followers, you know, who gave up $65 million just so he could get a jet to fly around the country and the world to continue on preaching them lies from the rostrum that he teach from. You know, I mean, it's crazy. Farrakhan, with that salon restaurant him and the Nation of Islam got in the heart of South Side Chicago, the poorest area of that city. At least one of the known poorest areas of that city, you know? And ain't using it nothing but for a straight up money bracket. Probably got drugs funneling through there. Drug money funneling through there. Who knows? Because that business closed and open up all the time. They close down the shop and then they open it up all the time. You know, close the business down off and on. How many times? After all that money that them been invested in it, millions of dollars upon millions of dollars. And why that same business that's in the poor communities, where you got people in them communities that can't even afford to buy a plate of food because of how so priced the food is in that restaurant. And from my understanding, since the Nation of Islam is not supposed to be indulging in sport and play, you know, a couple years ago, I heard that they was showing pay-per-view fight, Mayweather pay-per-view fights up in the Salon restaurant, where people had to pay for tickets to get in to see the fight and all this kind of stuff. Oh, really? It ain't nothing but a money bracket. See, that's what I'm talking about, you know? But like I said before, you know, these people need to thoroughly be held accountable for this. I mean, because they pimping our communities. You know? These is the real Mac pimps of the year. Not just this year, but year after year. Shoot, they doing better than Bishop Don Juan. For real. I'm talking about the type of money they making. You talking about millionaires to daggone near billionaires. If not already billionaires, making money in the name of religion off the suffering and backs of our people. You know? And this got to stop. This just straight up got to stop. It's up to us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves in America who want better to step to these idiots and deal with this on our own, thoroughly and firmly. You know, don't wait on the system to correct it, because obviously they don't give a damn. You know, we got to take up this battle ourselves and deal with it and hold these Negroes accountable. You know, it's just that simple. And with that said, because I got the rest of the night, you know, that I got to have to myself. But hey, it is what it is. And all I can say to you brothers and sisters out there, like I said, out there in social media land, listening, it's time to take up that sword. You know, I'm not trying to advocate violence, but it's a way to do things. We got to put these cats in check and hold them accountable. Firmly. Simple as that. And without fear being in the way, we got to hold them accountable. It's just that simple. You know? We got to stop even talking about it and be about it. It's just that simple and even when it comes to that, that's just that simple. And with that said, brothers and sisters, once again, as our brother Don Cornelius would say, love, peace, and soul.